Live.
Yeah. Let's
Yo, yo,
see.
yo.
Yo,
What up,
yo, yo.
everybody?
What up, everybody?
Well, you are going to need a fork and a knife because this is Deep Dishing Sports. Sorry, guys.
Man.
Try and get this link out as we always do. We need an intro. We need some kind of like intro video. We'll get that.
What intro?
We'll
Intro song.
or an intro song.
All right, I got you. Say less. I got you.
Go ahead, bro. I mean,
If you ever wanna get with me,
oh God.
I can give you all the love you need.
Okay.
That's
Keep
all I
going. I
got.
saw where that was going, bro. Come on. Keep it going.
Come and join the festivities. If you ever wanna get with me.
For those of y'all who are joining and don't know what's going on, we lack an intro song, so Bruce is trying to provide that. And he's doing a pretty good job. He's doing a pretty good job. I will say.
My guy Donnell said, Teddy P, turn off the lights and light a candle. Turn them off.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Okay.
You know the one thing about like the old songs from back in the day, man, is that it really made you, made you dig deep in how you felt. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah, it hit those feelings, bro. Like
Yeah, bro.
real hard.
Teddy Pendergrass said, "Turn off the lights and light a candle." Do you know how deep that is? He didn't want the dark.
He said
He did not want the
one
dark.
candle, not a bunch of candles.
One candle. He said, "Light a candle." That's when you know. That's when you know. Number one, he trying to save on electricity.
That is true.
He said, "Turn off the lights." Oh man,
Good times. Good times. Sorry guys, still trying to get these links out there so that people can join in on the discussion. What a game.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to put you on a hot seat for this bear down breakdown. Are. Yeah. Yeah. So just know. Get ready.
I had a
put your coaching hat on.
I had a feeling that you were going to do that based off your reply to my tweet yesterday, which I'm sure we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you already know.
Okay. And then of course we got to send one last link to Eli Rodriguez because he always he always asks me what time y'all going live? What time y'all go? So I feel obligated.
I'm saying he like you have you ever seen you seen the movie Kill Bill?
One of my favorite movies.
All right, so of all time. You know her Uma Thurman, right? That's her name.
Yeah, it's
who played. Okay. Remember when she went to go train with the master? Yeah. And he just like lived in like this big house on the hill with like no electricity, just no nothing.
Yeah.
That's Eli. Eli's like the master, but he has no social media, no
true.
nothing.
That is it's true.
But for some reason, like he knows he's on top of everything, and I'm like, how you're not on nothing?
Yeah, that dude.
You still got a typewriter.
He's He's got connects. He's in the fire department, so he's got people that just chatter.
Well, we're his connects. We're his connects. You see the text message thread that be popping off when he just throws a text out there. I'm like, how do you know this stuff? You don't even have electricity. You live in the cave on the big hill.
Anyway, not to get off too off topic here, because
let's do it.
We have a Bear game to discuss and break down. Anyway, welcome everyone to Bear Down Breakdown Week 6.
Week 6.
We are going to discuss this huge win over the Panthers.
Yeah,
because 5-1 is a lot different than 4-2.
Facts,
especially in our division where we got the Packers breathing down our neck. And speaking of,
they didn't look too good.
I see Sam commented on our Facebook Live about that Aaron Rodgers pose and celebration.
What was that?
I don't know. I do remember a player doing that same celebration maybe a year ago or 2 years ago and got flagged for it. So that's an interesting little tidbit.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
He gets all the.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Those refs, man, they love them some Aaron. Anyway, guys, the Bears won. They're 5-1. This is This is crazy. This is a crazy time to be alive as a Bears fan.
Yeah, oh, man. I don't know what to do, man. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's been it's been fun and wild at the same time, because these close games, they just be messing with me, man. Like, and it's just gonna be like that the whole entire year. I know I gotta just swallow that pill and be ready for it every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's just taking away years of my life at this point. Like, it's crazy. Bears beat the Panthers by a score of 23-16. Very hard-fought game, of course, and we kind of knew that coming in. We knew the Panthers were a solid team. We didn't think this was going to be a blowover at all.
Right. Right.
But just what are your overall thoughts on the game before we break down the specifics?
Just winning ugly, and that's what our quarterback Nick Foles said. Just you win ugly, and a win is a win, man. And I think I say this probably to you. The NFL is so up and down. Like, just when you expect this team to do this and this team to do that, it just don't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we look at that game, and I don't want to get off the Bears, but you look at that Tampa Bay Green Bay game yesterday. That was so hyped and built between the two, and then look at the game overall. So it's just like the NFL is so up and down. So, for the Bears to win that game yesterday on the road against a really good Carolina Panthers team who has a really good offense, for them to win the way they did yesterday, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. Like our quarterback said, winning ugly. So I'm with it, man.
Yeah, the good teams win ugly games, and the Bears have won 5 of them. So they've all been ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now to be a Bears fan and to be in first place. We're in first place right now, sitting alone in first place. Again, some of that has to do with the Packers game being canceled because of Tennessee's negligence to avoid COVID-19.
Right. But wear your mask, Tennessee Titans football players.
But it's a good time to be alive as a Bears fan. Let's break it down. Let's break this game down. Let's start with the offense.
All right.
Because Nick Foles he didn't do anything pretty in this game. He was 23 of 39. That's 70% completion percentage, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 really, really bad interception, and a rushing touchdown. The offensive line was no help, and we'll get to them in a second, but they were really bad in this game. And it's what's really troubling is it's against a defense that is not very good at getting to the quarterback and not very good at stopping the run. So that's kind of concerning. But I mean, that terrible interception, he was immediately under pressure. If I can show the replay, I would, but like it seemed like as soon as he got the ball from the snap, there was at least 3 Carolina Panthers in his face.
Crazy, man.
But at the end of the day, you don't throw that football. It was like a punt that he just laid up there. Too easy for the Panthers to pick that one off. But the one beautiful throw of the game was that touchdown to Cole Kmet. Which shout out to Cole Kmet for getting his first touchdown finally in this season. Your boy from Notre Dame.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that was a beautiful throw. It was in a tight window in the red zone, which we all know red zone tight window throws are always very tough because the field is cut so short. So that was impressive. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, nothing crazy from Nick Foles. This wasn't a very pretty game. But what were your thoughts on Big Nick, as they like to call him? I'm not gonna say the other word.
Okay, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Man, I trust Nick Foles. You see what I'm saying? Like I trust him, man. He's not flashy. You know what you're gonna get from Nick Foles. He's a great game manager, and I truly believe that he is the right quarterback for this team. I mean, outside of the one mistake that he made in throwing that interception, he did what he had to do. And the fact that offensive line, and I know we'll get to it, but that offensive line, oh my God, look, let's go. Let's go. Me and you can go get on that offensive line and probably do a better job than what those guys are doing right now. And I don't know. I don't know what's the problem with this offensive line. No, I do know. And that's part of my question to you later. But, back to Nick Foles, man. He's just a typical game manager, man. And he did what he needed to do. And, moving forward with Nick Foles, man, let me ask you this. Moving forward with Nick Foles, I think we're in a better position now in facing teams like Green Bay. We got New Orleans coming up. We got the Rams. This comes. I just feel more confident with Nick Foles as our quarterback than I do with Mitchell Trubisky, with the limitations of this offense. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. And some people will argue, like the Mitch truthers will probably argue that, he's just a big ass statue in the pocket and he doesn't have any mobility, and that's what Mitchell Trubisky gives you, is he's able to escape the pocket under pressure and create those type of playmaking plays. But the thing that those people don't realize is Nick makes up for it with how smart he is, with how quick he gets rid of the football.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Yeah, his ability to read the defense as quick as he does. And again, this isn't like, he's not a world beater at it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Aaron Rodgers. But he is a quarterback that reads a defense very quickly, is able to digest that and get rid of the football. And you need that, and that helps you out a lot when you do have a offensive line like the Bears do. And you saw that with Matt Nagy's play calling in this game. There's a lot of short throws, a lot of lateral throws that Nick Foles was able to get rid of the ball very quickly. And that's just going to be our offense going forward. Exactly. You would love to see the Nick Foles that was against Atlanta, and he was just like chucking the ball down the field. But Atlanta's defense is probably one of the worst in the league. So you can't expect that week in and week out. Yeah. It's going to be short throws, get rid of the ball quick. It's going to be an extension of the running game because that doesn't exist right now. And that's just how it is.
You know what? When Nick Foles threw that interception yesterday, and maybe it's just me because I'm a Nick Foles. I might just be getting this jersey soon. Not really, but I might just make a T-shirt and put the number 9 on there. But when he threw that interception yesterday, I was almost shocked. I was just like, "Nah, Nick don't make those type of plays." And if it was Mitchell Trubisky, I would have just been like, "Yep, typical Mitchell Trubisky." Yeah, I saw that one coming. You see what I'm saying? And look, man, this is not a let's bash Mitchell Trubisky.
Right.
It's just that you see the difference between quarterbacks, and like I said, and Nick Foles, man, I trust him. I have more trust in Nick Foles.
Without a doubt, I have more trust that Nick Foles will make the smart play. And yeah, I mean, it just sucks that he doesn't have an offensive line that can help him out. Like, I feel like we would really see, Matt Nagy open the playbook a little bit more if he had an offensive line to help him out. But it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. That offensive line only goes to show you that it maybe it wasn't coaching. Maybe it wasn't Harry Heinstead that was the problem. Maybe it's just the lack of talent that's on that offensive line. And it's really weird
because they got off to a great start. I mean, those first 3 games, we were able to run the ball for over 100 yards. We were giving credit to, Juan Castillo and that coaching staff for apparently fixing the running game, we thought. But I mean, ever since then, they've gone up against defenses that were a little bit more stout, and now we're seeing the true colors of this offensive line, unfortunately.
And I don't think we we talked about. I mean, well, last week was kind of we didn't have bear down breakdown last week, but a significant loss on that offensive line was James Daniels. You started to see why the Bears drafted James Daniels when they drafted him, because he was really having a solid season, and that injury was huge because you see the drop down from James Daniels to Alex Barr, and that's another Notre Dame guy. So my patience. I'm trying to be patient with Alex Barr, but you could tell why he was a practice
Rashad
squad
Coward started
player.
This game at left guard. I think, right? It was Rashad Coward in this game. I think Rashad Coward got his first start at left guard.
Alex Barr and Rashad Coward look exactly.
Alex Barr came in the game last week when James Daniels got injured and he struggled. So they both are not good.
They're both bad. Okay, all right.
Right. Yeah, that's the moral of the story is they're both bad. I think I saw a stat somewhere. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but I think I saw a stat.
Go ahead.
Somewhere on Twitter where when the Bears have run the ball left, which is to the side of Charles Leno and whoever the hell it is at left guard, whenever they decide to play, since James Daniels gotten injured, they've averaged like 1.6 yards per carry or something like that.
Oh,
which is
God.
1.6. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Really, really bad. But
my God.
Actually wanted to wait to get to the offensive line because I wanted to talk about Matt Nagy first in this game. And listen, credit to Matt Nagy because I think he called a pretty good game in this game, given that he had, like we said, absolutely no help from his offensive line. Because he ended up giving David Montgomery 19 carries in this game. He only averaged like 3 yards per carry, but it's 9 more than he gave him the last 2 games. So he actually stuck with the run game this week, which I was very impressed with. But there were just a couple of really predictable, like lateral throws, a couple of cute plays that I was just like, why? But the one play that really made me shake my head was that clock management call on 3rd and 2, which is the one that you responded to me because my tweet was that Matt Nagy was bailed out by his defense again in this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I saw a lot of people tweeting the same thing, agreeing with me that it was just a bad call to pass the ball on a 3rd and 2.
Well,
and I get it. Your offensive line has been terrible. You haven't been able to run the ball game. You might not even passed or been able to pick up the first down on that 3rd and 2, but at least you make the Panthers call their last timeout, which helps. Okay. It could have helped you out. I mean, they ended up getting the stop anyway because DeAndre Houston Carson came up with that clutch interception. But I don't know, man. Like that's the kind of stuff that worries me about Matt Nagy going forward, in games that you're going up against, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. We might see Seattle in the playoffs. We might have to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. And those kind of QBs, you give them 2 minutes with 1-2 timeouts, they're going to take advantage of that. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, man, just take the easy play, bro. Just take the easy play.
All right.
No, you're biting your tongue. Give it to me.
I mean, I think you guys are wrong. I don't care who. I don't care if 9,000 people did tweet it and I was the only one that disagreed. You all are still wrong. No. So here's how I looked at it. Right. Twofold. First, from an offensive perspective, that play, he threw the ball to Allen Robinson. So, being aggressive, trying to get the ball to your best playmaker, that would have ended the game. First of all, Nick Foles made a bad throw. Number one, he didn't really give Allen Robinson a chance to make a play on that ball. And so trying to put the ball in your best playmaker hand to end the game, I get it. I'm not gonna, me personally, I don't want to, slam him for that. I get it. I mean, I know you clock management and things of that nature, but then I look at it this way, is that I also believe that that's the type of faith that Matt Nagy has in his defense, where it's like, all right, I trust that you guys won't let this team score. And I just think it all depends on the situation as well. I think if you're facing an Aaron Rodgers, if you're facing a Russell Wilson, they face Drew Brees in a couple of weeks. I think if you're facing those type of quarterbacks, then yeah, I think look, Matt Nagy, he knows clock management. He knows, that a running play could wind the clock down some more. He knows those things. But I think he just has that much faith in his defense. If he was facing a different quarterback, if he was facing an elite quarterback or an elite offense, then I believe you would have saw a different play call. But because the way the defense was playing, and because Carolina's offense didn't do anything against that defense, you take a chance. So I'm not gonna slam them for that. So
I am. So
all you all are wrong. Alex, you're wrong too. He said no, the play calling was and it has been consistently bad. No, Alex, you're being consistently bad by not agreeing with me right now.
So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have that same kind of faith that you do in Matt Nagy to make those kind of decisions, because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he made a very similar decision. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I'm pretty sure there was a very similar situation to the when the Bears were in yesterday. It was like a 3rd and short, late in the game. The Bears were up, and Matt Nagy decided to to pass the ball. Incomplete, clock stopped.
Yeah, it was last week.
Oh, it was last week. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was 2 weeks ago.
It worries me, because in the playoffs you can't have that kind of stuff, man. You can't. You lose games like that. like when you're going against a perennial team. And I get it. The Panthers aren't that kind of squad. You don't have to really be scared of Teddy Bridgewater. I get it. But I don't know, man. It worries me. Just worries me.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I get it. It's okay.
But anyway, yeah, just back to the offensive line. That's because that's the only thing I have to say about Matt. Because like the dude is, I mean, you can say what you want about Matt Nagy in terms of his play calling, his in-game decision making. Some of it's questionable, yes, but as a leader, like you take a look, like we just said at the beginning of the show, the Bears are 5-1. 5 of their wins, all 5, have been very hard fought games.
Right.
And it's because that they don't give up. This team just fights literally to the last whistle. No and doubt. A testament to that is the culture that Matt Nagy has built in that locker room. Like you can't take that away. Like Matt Nagy, he's a great leader. Right. He has his team fighting every single game, tooth and nail, no matter what the score is. The Bears haven't been blown out. They're in.
You cut off there.
Coaching wise, but there's no way you fire a coach like Matt Nagy right now. Like play calling, you can figure out. In-game decision making, I think, will grow. But I mean, he has the best record after 38 games by any Bears head coach since George Halas in 1968. So you can't.
Wow.
That's not by mistake. That's not by luck. Like you can't coach that. Haha. See what I did there.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the Bears offensive line. So I'll go ahead.
No. Okay. So we talk about the offensive line. So this is where I want you to put your coaching hat on. Okay. Not so much your coaching hat, but your GM hat.
Okay.
All right. And I know I feel like we've been talking about this offensive line maybe for the last 2 years on how bad it is. But I'm gonna read off this offensive line, and I want you to tell me yay or nay on are they legit offensive starters in the NFL. Okay?
Okay.
All right? And just be honest. Just be honest. In fact, not just the offensive line, but can we do this? Can I do this really fast for the entire offense?
Sure. Why not? It's our show. We do what we want.
All right.
If you don't like it, stop watching.
Bet. I appreciate that.
Don't stop watching.
Let's just do this. If I'm gonna read the names off of our starting offense, and you just say yes or no to if you want to keep those guys on the team next year. Okay. All right. Allen Robinson.
Of course.
Okay. Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. You didn't sound too sure about that.
He's not a world beater, but he's a solid tight end, and we haven't had one in God knows how long. So.
All right. Cole Kmet.
I think he has a lot of potential. So yes.
Okay. Anthony Miller.
Nah.
All right.
No.
Ted Ginn Jr. All right. David.
I'm sorry, that threw me off. I thought you were going to say Darnell Mooney before him.
You didn't even.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm going off this is the depth chart that I'm reading. All right. So, all right. So those are the wide receivers. We got the tight ends. David Montgomery.
Yes.
Okay. Tariq Cohen. Okay. Nick Foles.
That's the tough one. That's the tough one. I don't. I don't know. He's a bridge quarterback. So if we draft one, then yes, you keep Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's get to the offensive line. All right. Charles Leno Jr.
I feel bad saying this because I think he's a good guy, but no, he would stop.
Okay. All right. Right tackle, Bobby Massey.
Time to move on.
Okay. Right guard, Jermaine Confetti. Jermaine Jackson Confetti.
Oh God. I think he's been solid. So sure.
Okay. Cody
He's
Whitehair.
having a really bad year, but yeah, I don't think you let him go just for one bad year.
I just wish they move him back to right guard. That's just my own personal opinion on Cody. But and then James Daniels. Okay. So out of all the positions that I just mentioned to you, those names, you had maybe 6 yes, and the rest was no.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And that right there is the problem with this offense. We don't have enough talent on offense, man. And we don't have we have 2. You said yes to Cody Whitehair and yes to James Daniels, and you were a tweener with Jermaine Jackson Confetti. You gave a yes, but you wasn't that confident in that yes. So that's 2 positions on the offensive line that you were confident in. Your left tackle and your right tackle, we have no confidence in them at all. And that left tackle, that's the money maker. Right. That protects our quarterback. And that's the problem with this offense. So every time I see people complain about the offense and the offensive line, you know what it comes down to? We just don't have the talent. And you could blame that. That goes to Ryan Pace, because think about it. Kevin White, we drafted him at what number? Back
it was
8,
I think 7? It was top 10. Yeah.
Top 10. He's no longer with the team. You look at the quarterback you drafted that you traded up to get.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he now? Not even starting. More likely he's gone next year. So you know what? Like, offensively, Ryan Pace has not been. I mean, yeah, we hit on the Darnell Mooney's and the Tariq Cohens. That was great. And Cody Whitehair has been solid. James Dane, he's been. But other than that, like, who can you hang your hat on that Pace is drafted on the offensive side? And at some point, you just got to look at the reality that we just don't have the talent on offense.
Yeah, that's something that, I've been preaching for years, is Ryan Pace's lack of ability to build an offense. I mean, you look at Allen Robinson, the one free agent acquisition that's really paid off for Ryan Pace, which, by the way, he still has not found new money for, which is crazy, because the one piece that he has contributed to this offense that's been consistent and very good at Pro Bowl level, he hasn't even paid yet. So
exactly,
Ryan Pace definitely has to excuse me, own up for what this offense looks like, because I mean, this offseason, just look at what he did. He went out, traded for a statue of a quarterback in Nick Foles, which, granted, there's a lot of good things that Nick Foles does, but one thing he can't do is escape the pocket. So you go and you trade for a statue at quarterback. He isn't Mike Glennon, so I'm not comparing him to Mike Glennon, but still, you pick up an immobile quarterback and you do nothing to fix this offensive line. The only thing that they did was pick up Ifedi, Jermaine Jackson Confetti, and he's done decent at best. at best.
Right. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I mean
Exactly.
it's complete negligence on Ryan Pace's part, and it falls completely on him. Because I mean, if when you have a really
Yes.
bad offensive line, it's hard to do anything as both a play caller and a quarterback. Like when you don't have the run
Right.
game, it completely, eliminates a lot of the play calls that you want to do. When you don't have pass protection, completely eliminates, what you want to do as a quarterback. So Nick Foles and Matt Nagy
Hmm.
both kind of have their hands tied because of this offensive line, which sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just, what sucks even more is that I don't see how they're going to fix it this year. Like I don't, you don't just pick up a guard off the
No.
street and then he just completely changes the
Yeah.
game. Like those
No.
are free agents. Those are
No.
drafted players.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ryan Pace just has to sleep in the bed that he made right now. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's no fixing this year. This is what it is. This is what it is. We're gonna run into a game where we score 31 points or maybe 31 points, but this is the norm. These 23, 16 games that this is the norm for the Bears for the rest of the year. And the reason why is because of the
Yeah, and
defense that we have.
see, Samuel said, Chicago Bear tradition, no talent on offense. And yeah, that's been
Yeah,
the norm
exactly.
here in Chicago. Just a really good defense that
Mhm.
carries an offense, and the offense just needs to be, mediocre to win games. And
Yeah,
that sucks because
yeah.
that isn't sustainable, unfortunately. Like this
No,
isn't 1985,
no.
guys. This isn't 2006.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have all
Yeah,
pro talented quarterbacks. You can name at least 10 of them in the league right now. That can dice you up. I mean that yeah, the Bears defense is really good,
yeah.
but how did that work out? How did that work out for us
It's
2
not
years ago?
elite.
Like you need an
Yeah,
offense that can
yeah,
score
yeah,
25 points in
yeah.
today's NFL, week in and week out. Unfortunately, you cannot rely on
Definitely,
turnovers. You
definitely,
cannot rely on
definitely.
pick sixes. It's just not sustainable. It's great to have a good defense, but I don't know if they win championships anymore. I don't. I just
No, you need a balance. You need a balance. You need. I don't even want to say a balance. You, you need an offense like you said that's just gonna score 25 points, man. In today's NFL, I mean that's the name of the game. Offense is the name of the game, and everything is geared towards the offense. I mean, we saw pass interference calls yesterday where I was just like damn, like what can these cornerbacks do? What do you want these
shoot.
cornerbacks to do? I saw it's crazy, man. So you need an offense. You need an offense to at least give you 25 points in a game, and unfortunately the Bears
Yeah,
just don't have it right now.
yeah. It's rough. I'm gonna give one last stat on this offensive line before we move on. But it's really gonna put into perspective how bad they've been. Okay, so in the run game, the Panthers have struggled to stop the run all season. They were allowing 5.7 yards per carry going into Sunday, okay, which was ranked 31st in the league.
Hmm.
Bears only managed
Yeah, yeah.
2.95 yards per carry in this game.
2.95, man.
One more stat, and it's for each
Yeah.
offensive lineman, which is terrible. Cody Whitehair, the guy who was supposed to be, the anchor of our offensive line, the most consistent dude on this offensive line. He's given up the second most pressures at center in the league with 15. Charles Leno, our left tackle, like you
Unbelievable.
said, the moneymaker. He's given up the eighth most pressures at tackle in the league. Jermaine Ifedi, 14th most at guard. Bobby Massey, 16th most, almost right behind Charles Leno at tackle. So you can't
These dudes got a legit bet going on who's going to give up the most pressures. Like, what is y'all?
4
What's
of your
wrong with
offensive
y'all,
linemen
man?
are in the top 16 in terms of most pressures given up at each position, and that's you can't do much with that. Like running or passing,
Yeah,
you're just not going to do much with that. And again, that falls on Ryan Pace's hands, 100%. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's where we're at. So expect more nail biters, Bears fans, throughout this entire season, mainly because of that. Anyway, let's talk about the good.
We did win yesterday. Right.
Not to poo-poo on the entire season,
man.
but let's talk about the good part. Let's talk about the good part of this team, because the defense was, I mean, they were a little bend and break. They let Carolina drive up the field a couple of times, but I mean that they were still just stout in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Roquan Smith was all over the field in this game. Probably had his best game of the season. In this one, he had 12 tackles.
Agreed.
I think he's fifth in the league in tackles, or fourth or something in solo tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Here, he had a tackle for loss, a pass deflection. He was just everywhere in the run game, in the pass game. He was a monster. Man, I do want to highlight the fact that, and you mentioned it a little bit, but the fact that, what is a pass interference, guys? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because my guy, our guy, Eddie Jackson, which is the reason why I'm wearing this hoodie, has 2 pick sixes robbed from him this year due to whack pass interference calls. And if you want to call that, fine, but be consistent with it, because they missed one on Allen Robinson in the first half that should have been called. But at this point, I don't know what a pass interference is. I just don't. It's garbage.
Yeah. I mean, even the one that they call against Jalen Johnson, on a deep pass, they said he hooked him. I'm like, but I thought he was going for the ball. Like, how was you supposed to defend that? Because you don't call. I've seen a lot of wide receivers push off. They get that a little nudge, and they'll call it once in a while, but you never see an offensive pass interference anymore. So, like, how do you? I just don't know. I don't know how you. There's
always a lot of hand fighting in between corners and receivers, especially like a go route where you're deep. You know what I mean? There's always a lot of hand fighting, and like you said, Jalen turned around, had his head towards the ball. So how are you going to hook a wide receiver's hand when your head is not even looking at him? Like, I don't know, man.
And speaking of Jalen Johnson, he had his rookie moments yesterday. He was, but you know what? I love his bounce back. I love how he bounced back. We talk about it all the time. You got to have a short-term memory when you cornerback, because that's going to happen. You're going to get beat. You're going to get the calls, the pass interference call. It's just how you respond. And I just saw a couple of times where they kept going at him, but he responded very well. He was not a liability on defense, despite him having his worst game in his career, in his short career.
Interception that Deshaun Gibson got. That was because of Jalen Johnson. That was his pass breakup.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we could go all day on this defense. The defensive line right now is just playing possessed. Khalil Mack is making it known that he is still the best defensive player on this team, and probably one of the top 3 pass rushers in the NFL. That man is playing just crazy. And then just shout out to the depth on the defensive line. I mean, you talk about I love what I'm seeing from Robert Quinn. It's not showing up in the numbers, but he's starting to look like the Robert Quinn that we signed and getting pressure on the quarterback. Mario Edwards Jr.
What a find.
Man, he made some great Yeah, no doubt. He made some great plays yesterday. I don't know his first name. Waters.
James Waters.
I want to call him. I'm gonna call him Jacoby Waters, even though his name is James. His
Jacoby.
new name is
Okay.
Jacoby Waters. I mean, it's just Mingo, Batavius. These are some names, man. My God, these killing pill names. We gotta go through. Mingo, he's making plays. So just the depth on the defensive line has been very, very impressive.
Yeah,
very
I
impressive.
saw a tweet during the game that said the Bears have the best 4-man pass rush in the league, and I completely agree with that. And it makes a little bit more sense now because earlier on in the season, I kind of criticized Chuck Pagano for not being as creative with the blitz calling and all that. But when you have a front four that can rush the passer like the one that we have, I mean, there's really no need to call blitzes. Like there is no need. I mean, we ran into a brick wall in Indianapolis with that offensive line. That offensive line is top tier. So I can understand why we struggled a little bit against them, but yeah, I mean, when you have a dominating front four, there's no need to blitz and risk not leaving a pass defender out there. You just you rush your four and you make it as hard as possible on the QB to find an open man. That's just what you do. So this defense has just been. I mean, there's not much more you can ask of them. They had 3 turnovers in this game, 4 sacks. Teddy Bridgewater had a passer rating of 50.4. They've only allowed 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. Like it's they're playing lights out right now.
They are. They really are. They really are. Shout out to just the secondary is playing great. Kyle Fuller is amazing. One thing I love about our cornerbacks, our secondary as a whole, is man, they want to tackle. They don't shy away from laying the wood, as they say.
Pause.
Pause. But they don't shy away, man. They get in you. They get in you, and that's we saw with Kyle Fuller making a play against Teddy Bridgewater. As they was close to the goal line, and he made a huge play. So, I love this defense. I love it, and they're going to be challenged. They're going to be challenged over the next couple of weeks. But this is who we are. We hang our hats on this defense to play lights out every week.
Yeah,
so.
it's. I mean, you look at how much money is into this defense right now. I mean, of course, we poo-pooed on Ryan Pace for the lack of offense that he's built, but he's built a tremendous defense. Again, he's spent a lot of money on it, so they better be damn good. But yeah, I mean, you take a look at what this defense looked like when Ryan Pace got here, and we've said this a bunch of times, but it's just night and day.
Yeah.
Because that was that Mel Tucker defense that he came into, which those of y'all who remember Mel Tucker, that defense was terrible. So he built it from the ground up. Props to Ryan Pace, and that's just what we hang our hats on. It's what we expect to show up every single week to kind of carry us. No doubt. And they've done just that. They've we're a top 5 defense again. Same as back as 2019. We're not getting as many turnovers. You don't see, Khalil Mack getting a bunch of sacks this year, but they're just as dominating as 2018. Don't get it twisted.
Agree.
But we are 5-1, alone in first place.
Ooh.
Because the Packers lost. They got dominated by the Bucs. That was an embarrassing game. Because we didn't have any trouble with them.
It was.
Just throwing that out there.
No, we didn't. We didn't. Yeah. I mean, people's like, oh, but y'all only won by 1 point. I mean, it was a dominating 1 point. Take that. We
Right.
dominated by 1 point.
But yeah, Bears are 5-1, first place. We have a 86% chance at making the playoffs right now. If we win our next 2 games, which I mean that's a big if because it's against the Rams and the Saints, which are 2 good teams. But if we win our next 2 games, you could pretty much punch your ticket to the playoffs this year.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
No doubt.
It's great. Yeah, I mean
that's what we want.
That's what we expected, right? Like,
yeah. Well, did we expect this team to make the playoffs?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously our one battle is Green Bay, and that's just going to be every year until Aaron Rodgers retires. But I don't know.
Or joins us next year.
Bro, speak it into existence, please.
Yeah.
I'm
speaking it, Lord. You hear me.
I will take that.
You hear me, Lord.
Even though a lot of Bears fans wouldn't, which doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's for another episode. But yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is we're 5-1, and we still haven't played our best football yet, and that's great. That's a great place to be in.
Agreed.
Like you cannot ask for a better scenario to be 5-1 in first place, and you still have not played. Especially if offensively, obviously, is what we're talking about because the defense has been balling out. But offensively, they have a lot of room to improve.
Right.
And the fact that we're sitting in first place after 6 weeks is great. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's delicious. Delicious.
Fantastic.
Hakeem
you say delicious.
I'm just using his words. All right. Don't crucify me for that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. If that's. No, it's just that was unexpected. Yeah. Delicious.
Hey, I didn't say the Bears are delicious. I said that the situation that we're in is delicious. Yeah.
Oh,
not the Bears. I mean, that's weird because it's a team full of guys. Anyway, let's just switch the topic. Next week, we got a big Monday Night Football game against the Rams, and yes, our offensive line is struggling. We're going to have to deal with the man himself, Aaron Donald, number 99.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Big old Aaron Donald coming through. It's going to be a rough game for offensive line for Nick Foles.
Yeah, and it's the Leonard Floyd.
Expect him to break Nick Foles' freaking collarbone and get a strip back.
Yeah.
And
hey, man, I watched the game last night with the Rams and 49ers, and if you want to see where Leonard Floyd is this year, just go watch tape.
Oh, it's like that. Year. I haven't seen one Rams game this year, so
it's like that. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Well,
we're not missing anything.
Robert Quinn has been, again, he's not getting the sexy stats, but he's been damn good. Robert Quinn has been damn good this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, Sam, I do agree. Next this Rams game is definitely a win.
I mean, when you go against Jared Goff, who's a decent quarterback, but he's just like most quarterbacks in this league. You pressure him, and he gets the shivers. He gets a little scared, and
gets the shivers.
I fully expect. I mean, that's I feel like that's what's been happening the last 2 times we played the Rams. Their offense kind of struggled a little bit because of the pressure we were able to get, and I fully expect that same kind of game this week. I think the key is just whether or not our offense can do anything against that defense. I mean, you talk about Jalen Ramsey, talking about Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be, again, a dogfight.
I think the key for this game is Anthony Miller, Darnell Mooney, our tight ends. I'm going to leave out Allen Robinson because he's going to have a battle with Jalen Ramsey. But those guys are going to have to win their battles. They're going to have to win their one-on-ones.
Without a doubt.
You will not be able to hold the ball against Aaron Donald and that they have a great. The Rams defense is solid. They have a solid offense. I mean, solid defense. You're not going to be able to hold the ball against them. And I watched, like I said, I was watching the game last night, and that was the key for San Francisco winning that game was the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo, he said, "Look, I got to get the ball out in 2 seconds, at least 2 seconds. Anything after that, I'm gonna get eaten up." And that was the key against that defense. So the Bears, yeah. Oh Jesus! As I just gave you that scouting report, I got nervous
for Nick
man.
Foles and his health in this game because so far he's been taking hits this year, and I've been very surprised as he got up after every single hit. I was like, oh Lord, please after every hit. It's been healthy so far, so we'll see. I'm very interested to see what kind of game plan Matt Nagy draws up. I think it's going to be very similar to yesterday's game, even though we faced a completely different defense. But it was very quick throws, lateral throws, which I don't completely like those, especially the predictable ones to Cordero Patterson that drive me crazy. But this is going to be a game where you're going to see a lot of those short, quick throws. You're not going to see a whole lot of deep balls in this game. And it's going to be a low scoring dogfight, as every single game has been so far.
Mm-hmm.
DMX.
that was the dogs. That was the dogs.
My dogs.
I'm sorry. I don't know what that.
Oh man! I mean, that was solid. That was solid. Anyway, do you have an early prediction, score prediction for this game?
I'm gonna say 16-13 Bears, and we're gonna win on a Carlos Santana Santos field goal.
I like that. Hey, shout out to Cairo Santos who hit a 55-yard, and I don't know if Eli is still watching this game, Eli Rodriguez, but he was sitting next to me as Cairo was lining up for this field goal, and I'll admit, I said there's no way he's going to make this field goal. Like, this is 55 yards. He, at one point in his career, he was a really good kicker before he got injured. But it just seemed like throughout this year that injury was still lingering. So I was like, there's no way he's going to make this kick. And then he just booted it right down the middle. Like, it was a perfect kick. And
nickel. Yeah. He's always had good success in Carolina, though. He's had some of his best kicking games against, in Carolina. So I don't know if we take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if we have a legit kicker moving forward, but we give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
so shout out to
he's definitely going to have to be a little bit more consistent for me to be like, bye Eddie Pinheiro. But it's a good sign.
Right.
It's definitely a good sign. But anyway, I like that prediction. I'm not as hopeful.
I figured
I don't see how this offensive line is going to do enough for us to win this game. I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but this is going to be a game of trenches. And listen, the Bears' defensive line is damn good too, so they're definitely going to be the one that carries us in this game. But I just don't see how our offense does enough. I think the Bears lose this game 20-13. I think they lose 20-13.
Okay.
Again, I hope I'm wrong. The last time that I predicted a Bears loss, I think we lost that game, actually. I think that was the Indy game that I predicted. So sorry, Bears fans, if I'm right again this week. But I sincerely hope I'm wrong. Because 6-1 would be amazing. 6-1 would be awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah. Like you said, we're in the driver's seat.
We are in the driver's seat. We don't see the Packers until freaking late November. I think, November 29th, week 12 is the first time we see the Packers. Mm-hmm. So, as long as we can keep this winning streak up, we'll be in the driver's seat, no doubt.
Vroom, vroom.
Jeez. Bro,
he sounded better, man. We gotta do something with these.
At the end of the season, I'm gonna compile just a clip of all of your sound effects and just make it one video and dedicate it to you. So be prepared for that. But keep them coming. Keep them coming. I appreciate that. They're classic. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you did tune in, we appreciate it. This is, of course, our Bear Down Breakdown. We don't have a regular episode this week. We'll have a regular episode, number 42 next week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Hit that bell next to it too, because it'll give you notification once we go live so that you don't have to look for the link and I don't have to send you the link, Eli Rodriguez. If you're liking the hoodie that I'm wearing, you can go cop this hoodie. The link is in the description of our YouTube live video. It's a orange one. We have a blue one, a black one, a white one. We just have a bunch of merch, a bunch of really cool stuff. Bruce is wearing that Chicago blue alternate logo hoodie there. And we got a bunch of stuff. We colorful.
Bright today. We bright.
We some colorful folk out here.
Yeah.
Thank you all for the support. We appreciate it as always. And as always, we will talk to y'all next week. Go vote.
Go vote.